In life, I've never known I'll be a lover of reading books. Like, it's not been in my mind for a long time, but it's something someone introduced to me like a few years ago, the art of reading books. So, in the past, like let's say a month or so, I have been reading one amazing book, and it's called Atomic Habits. This book was given to me by a friend of mine, or let me just say a sister, and basically it was a book to help me build new habits. I've been trying to transit from the old habits that I've been having to new habits that I'm trying to create. And what James Clear in this book literally talks about is that what people think when you want to change your life is that you need to think big, but according to the author of this book, who is called James Clear, he says that there are other ways you can use to change your life rather than thinking big. Like, there are those small steps that you build each and every day to ensure that your life changes. Remember, change cannot happen in a go. It needs to take bit by bit. So today I want to share with you the lessons I have picked from this book and whether it is a worth reading book. Being that I've been trying to create new habits, it has really helped me. I've gotten some principles from this book that I'm going to use in my life in order to change my life from the current state that I am in to the state that I want to achieve. But before I get into this video, let me first appreciate each and every one of you who has subscribed to this channel. If you have not yet hit the subscribe button, kindly just take a minute of your time, hit the subscribe button. And if you have read this book, also leave us a comment in the comment section. How did you find this book? Also, at the same time, for those who are looking to purchase things, Twiva app has got the most amazing platform where you can purchase things right here in Kenya and get them delivered right at your doorstep. If you want to purchase things on Twiva, kindly just use the link on the description box. Go to Twiva app, purchase anything from electronics, clothes, bags, each and everything, even shoes. They're right there in Twiva app. Without much ado, let's get into the conversation. Now, what are atomic habits? You see, the knowledge of chemistry of the atoms, the small particles that compound into forming an element, is the same concept that James Clear is trying to talk about in his book, like the atomic habits. These are the small habits that you build each and every day to help you transfer your life or change your life. You see, habits shape our identity. You are identified with the current habits that you do each and every day. If your habit is stealing, you'll be identified as a thief. If your habit is doing good, you'll be identified as a person who does good deeds. So habits define our identity. So I want to share with you the 4 laws of habit formation that I've picked from this book that have helped me in transforming my life in the past 1 month to this point. Like, since I read this book, I've read this book, this is the second time. The first time I read the book, I didn't take much interest into what he was talking about. To me, it was just like going through the pages. But the second time I was reading book, I read it with the intention to learn from the book. The first thing is making it obvious. That's the first law of habit formation. What does this mean? You see, the best way to start a new habit is making the habit obvious to you. Like, when something is normal, it's something that you can do each and every day without being reminded of it. If you want to start reading a book, if you start reading a page or 10 pages every day, slowly the habit will become obvious to you. If you want to wake up early in the morning at 4 a.m. and you start each and every day waking up at 5:30 a.m., it will become a norm to you. So that habit will become obvious to you, like it's normal. So the first step in forming a new habit is making the habit obvious, and then after that comes the secret of self-control. Once you have made the habit obvious, you need to self-control yourself, because if you're not going to control yourself, you are going to lose the track of the habit that you're trying to form. So the first step in you changing your life or in you building that habit is you making it obvious. After you've made this habit obvious, have self-control to build the discipline around you keeping this habit. The second law is make the habit attractive. Nothing is other than creating a new habit. For me, I was a YouTuber before. I took a break. Coming back, it's been like, hey, this is so hard to do. Okay, so how am I going to make it to make it happen? Is by me making the art of content creation more attractive. So if you're going to try hit the gym, how am I going to make hitting the gym attractive? If I like listening to podcasts, then I'll go to the gym listening to a podcast. If I like listening to songs, I'll go to the gym listening to songs. This will make this habit I'm trying to create more attractive. For instance, when I was trying to cultivate the art of reading books, for me to make the art of reading books more attractive, I prefer reading books in silence. So I'll go sit in a silent corner without my phone, without anything, and that makes it more attractive to just sit down and read a book. The same way I find it attractive to shoot a video right now. So if you're going to make a new habit, find ways to make that habit attractive. Making it attractive can be you embedding some of the things you love doing while making that habit. In this book, the author gives an example of a cyclist who I think adapted a way in making the cycling more attractive through some of the things. I don't want to be a spoiler for the book, but it's something you can go and read in the book, how to make the habit attractive. So the second law, make the new habit attractive. The third law is make it easy. Nothing is so difficult like trying to adapt into a new thing. But if you make the adaptation process more easy, it will become more easier for you to adapt into that thing. The author says, walk slowly, but never walk backward. Okay? Just make the small steps every day, going forward rather than going backward. Kill the procrastination. In this book, he gives us a 2-minute rule whereby you can use the 2-minute rule in killing procrastination. The biggest deterrent in you making that new habit that you wanna try today, be it starting a YouTube channel, be it reading a book, be it changing your finances, is the art of procrastination. I'll do this tomorrow, I'll do this. No. Find a way of making it very easy for you to change your life through that new habit. So if it's a new habit you're trying to build and you believe that this habit is going to change your life, make that habit as easy as possible. If it's shooting a video, don't overthink the shooting. If it's reading a book, don't overthink reading a book. Start by reading 10 pages every day or 5 pages every day. Give yourself a duration of 3 months and then start elevating. Whatever you do today will amount to what you'll be tomorrow. The last law in forming a new habit is make it satisfying. Satisfaction is like a reward, okay? You tell yourself, I'll get myself an accountability partner, for instance, that if I shoot today a video, my accountability partner will do this and this for me. Or on the other end, if you don't have an accountability partner, just for you to make that habit satisfying, you can say, if I complete reading Atomic Habits by the end of this month, I'll take myself for a lunch date. So make the new habit satisfying. Like, give it a motivation that if I achieve this new habit today, then this is what I'm going to do for myself. Once you make this habit satisfying, you will build this new habit. There are 3 layers when you're trying to build a new habit. They are in this book. The first layer is the outcome, the second layer is the process, and the third layer is identity. The outcome layer focuses with you changing the results, e.g. losing weight. You want to go to the gym, you want to lose weight. That is the outcome. This is what I want to achieve. The second thing, or the second layer, is process. These are concerned with the systems you are building. It's like, how are you going to change this habit? I'm going to lose weight. What am I going to do? So this is the process. Then the last aspect of the 3 layers of behavior change is now the identity. This is concerned with changing your belief. For instance, I had this belief that the rich people, for you to be rich, you must do something that is not that is unlawful. You see, this is a belief that was implanted in me when I was a child. So for me to change this belief, which is an identity to me, I need to change the way I believe things, that I can build wealth the Goldie way, that I don't need to actually do that bad stuff for me to do to build wealth. So the 3 layers of habit change help in transforming your habit, as James Clear tells us in his book. Number 1 focuses on the outcome, 2 focus on the process, and then lastly it will come the identity. Once you have an outcome that you want to achieve, the process will become easier, and once the process is easier, the outcome is achieved, your identity is changed. Now, the third lesson I will pitch from this book are the 4 steps in building any habit. Okay, number 1, we have the cue. These are trigger. Okay, the brain, or it's something that triggers the brain to initiate a behavior. Why do you steal? Why do you sleep at 6? So it's a cue. Anything that triggers your brain to process any habit. The second step in building any habit is the craving. A craving is the motivational force behind any behavior you're trying to build. So the moment you understand the craving that is making you try to build this habit, it will be easier for you to build a habit. The third step is the response. Actual habit performed either through the action or the thought. The brain tells you, which is a cue, you have to read books to expand your thinking ability. Then the motivational force behind you reading the book, which is the craving, is like, I need to get knowledge. what will be the response? You actually getting a book and reading the book. This is not the response, which later will bring you a reward, which is the end goal of any habit. I read a book, I got the knowledge, I'm using the knowledge in my day-to-day life to change my life. You see, one of the concepts that I picked from this book is that the secret to maximize your odds of success is to choose the right field of competition. Okay, the moment you know you are into the field of production, this is a field whereby you feel satisfied to do what you're doing. So for you to achieve that success, you need to choose the right field of competition. You see, most of us are in careers that you don't like. If you're really trying very hard to change from this career to the career that you love, this can be the stepping stone that you need for you to change that habit, because it will help you build the habits slowly by slowly. That's why it's called atomic, like the small habits that you build every day. You see, there are questions that after reading this book, I sat down and I was able to answer them, because the questions are in this book. The first question was, what feels like fun to me, but it's work to others? Okay, there is something that if someone is doing that thing, to him is fun. There are people who enjoy treating people, but there are people who treat the work of a doctor like work, but there is someone who treats like, I just love going to the hospital. So that's the first question I ask myself. The second question is, what makes me lose track of time? For instance, if I sit down and I'm to create a podcast, or I'm to edit a video, or I'm to do anything that surrounds production, I'll forget even what time it is. So you need to ask yourself, what makes me lose track of time? Even if you're trying to shift from one career to another, these are fundamental questions that you need to ask yourself. Question number one, what feels like fun to me, but it's work to others? When you answer that question, you'll know which trajectory to take. The second thing that you need to ask yourself, what makes me lose track of time? If this thing makes me lose track of time, then it's something that satisfies me. It's something that I love doing. So if you do it, I'll do it perfectly. The third question you need to ask, where do I get greater returns? Okay, people are engulfed in a world whereby you are doing something but you're not achieving anything from what you're doing. If you feel like whatever you're doing is not giving you anything that you want to achieve, then shift from it. Find a place whereby you get greater returns from what you're doing. And then the last thing that you need to ask yourself, what comes naturally to me? For me, just sitting in front of a camera and talking comes naturally. I don't have a script in, like I've written everything that I need to talk. No, maybe just points to highlight, this is what you need to talk after you have talked about this, after you have talked about that. So whatever comes naturally to you. For instance, my sister, designing nails just comes naturally to her. She has the gift of designing people's nails and designing hairs. Like, she's a beauty therapist, but she doesn't do that. But it's something that comes natural to her. My twin sister, for instance, she just finds it natural. Like, she just loves going to class to teach. So you see, everyone has something that comes natural to them. The moment you answer the 4 questions that James Clear asks you in this book, it will help you in building that habit that will help even transform your life financially. Lastly, in this book, there is something called the Goldilocks rule, which says you staying motivated always. You see, it says that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. Not too hard, not too easy, just right. You're always motivated when you're doing something that, number one, it's not straining you, and then number 2, it does not seem like it's giving you laziness, but you just feel satisfied doing that thing. This is the moment you experience peak motivation in your career or even in your life. So the moment you discover that this is the habit that helps me build that peak motivation, like I'm so motivated when I'm doing this thing, it will be easier for you to transform your life bit by bit every day through that one habit. The greatest threat to success that I've learned from the book Atomic Habits is that the greatest threat to success is not failure, but it's boredom. The moment you are bored with doing something, because everything we do is a habit, okay? Driving a car to people is a habit. For me, is a habit. I like driving cars. Reading a book is a habit. Going to office to edit videos is a habit. I'm in production. So the moment I'll be bored with doing what I'm doing currently, that is when failure comes in. So the greatest threat to success is not failure itself, but it's boredom. The moment you are bored doing something, that it means that this thing is going to fail, because that's the moment failure comes in. Once you're bored doing something, failure creeps in. So I just leave you with a quote that Machiavelli gave. Niccolo Machiavelli, if you have read one of his books, he says that men desire novelty to such an extent that those who are doing well wish for change as much as those who are doing badly. So if you are doing well today, that person who is doing well today, who is at a 10, craves for change drastically, the same way the person who is doing at 2 craves for. So those are some of the things that I've picked from the book Atomic Habits that I'm implying or implementing in each and every day of my life to help me change my life. If you've read this book, let me know in the comment section what are some of the things or what are some of the lessons that you picked from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's a very amazing book. Anyone want to read a book, I'll recommend you start with this book, because even just reading books is another journey that you need to start and ensure that you focus each and every day. So one thing I'll leave you with is forget about goals, focus on systems. I'll one day do a video on that. My name is Mval Derek. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button.